right? And so many of these fitness and nutrition ideology, I call them schemes. They're kind of like schemes. They're sneaky. Turn fitness into a pass-fail. But what you need to do, and this is what anyone who has gotten in shape and has maintained their results for an extended period of time will tell you, they may not call it this exactly, but this is what they're doing. And it's utilizing what we call here the dial method.
Yeah.
And Lynette, you actually put a name to it. So
Yeah.
do you want to explain what the dial method is and why it's so important?
Okay, so listen up. The dial method is a life-changing concept. It's a new mindset. So instead of taking breaks from stuff and pushing the pause button on things, you're going to have a dial instead. And that dial has 10 channels. And it looks different for everybody. And each area of your life has its own dial. So channel 10 on a fitness dial, for me, might look like, okay, a 1 hour workout in the gym and then, running 3 miles a day. That would be great, right? And then a mud race once a month. Like that would just be, I'm at a 10. This is great. And then like a 1 for me, like that's when life is super crazy, right? Maybe there's an illness in the family, work is really busy. Then I'm doing squats and push-ups, right? Like 10 squats, 10 push-ups by my bed before I go to bed. That's my workout, and that's all I can do. And so on that day, it may seem like, well, you're not really going to make much progress doing 10 squats and 10 push-ups by your bed at night. But it's a very different place to be when you have that dial at a 1 or a 2 or a 3, rather than just shutting it off. Because it mentally keeps you in the game and it gives you something to build on. Right. So if I'm doing 10 squats and 10 push-ups at night before I go to bed, then that gives me something like, oh, I can increase from there. But if I just shut it off like, oh, it's crazy, I don't have time for any movement today, then I slide back. And so what happens when you're pushing the pause button is you'll do a little progress, push pause, and then it dips down. And so it's like you're going like this, right?
Yeah.
So you never actually make progress,
right?
Because progress looks like the stock market, like this, but you net a gain over time. But if you're doing the pause button, you never get off the ground. You're just kind of doing these little bumps. But if you do the dial, then it will look like the stock market, and you will eventually move up. Over time, it's going to accumulate. Right. So what I do with people is like, all right, each area of your life has a dial. You have a fitness dial, an eating well dial, a work dial, hobbies dial, family dial, sleep dial. Just every area of your life has a dial. They can't all be at 10 all the time. And that's where we run into the pause button mentality. Like, oh, I can't do this, because they think everything has to be at a 10. But I don't know a single person that's healthy that, because there are some really extreme people that try to go 10 and they're able to keep it up for a while, but they eventually burn out. So to keep from burnout, you got to figure out where you are on the dial in each thing. But remember, they can't all be on 10. There might be one area on 10 for a while, and then the others are at like 4, 5, 1. But consciously decide, all right, where am I on each of these dials? And acknowledge it, and don't feel guilty about it. Guilt plays a lot in the pause button mentality. But if you've got the dials going, then you can feel good about it. It relieves you of the guilt that can happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's so true. Guilt, I feel like, plays a huge role. It's not often talked about when it comes to getting in shape, but feeling guilty is not helpful. It's not going to, feeling guilty about what you did, what you haven't done, is not going to get you any closer to your results. In the dial method, because it does allow you to adjust it, it changes the question from, let's say, you want to get in shape, right? So you say, I'm going to work out 5 days per week, right? The pause button mentality, the question is, did you work out 5 days this week? The dial method question, or the dial method changes that question from, did you work out 5 days this week, to, were you active this week?
Yeah. Did you get your movement in?
Did you get your movement in?
Did you do something every day?
Did you do something every day, right?
Yeah.
And that something could be just doing 5 squats.
Yeah.
Maybe you have your Tuesdays are crazy and you're literally going from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and there just really is no way for you to squeeze in a full workout. You know, maybe when you're at little Timmy's soccer practice, you're walking. Maybe you just walk around the practice field. Walk laps.
Yeah.
Do some squats, you know. Be a good influence, get the other parents to get up off their butts and join you. But anyway. But and don't ever discount the impact of something small like 5 squats or incorporating a handful of vegetables. We were talking about this earlier. There's no way to quantify it. But if you were able to, if I was Einstein and I could figure out an equation for it, right?
Yeah.
Like let's use the example. We're not using the pause button mentality. We're using the dial method, right? And so I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to lose weight. And I know a part of that is eating better, right?
Yeah.
But I just have a crazy week. Like there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to cook dinner every day this week.
Nope, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Yeah. So maybe my goal then is, did I have a serving of vegetables every day, which is more than realistic. You know, grab a handful of, you know, peppers, you know, as a snack, or have a salad. You know, salads are quick, right? Make a salad, bring a salad with it. You know, there's ways to do it. And if all you can do on that busy Tuesday is have one handful of vegetables as a snack, you may think, oh, what is this really doing?
Right. It's like, this isn't going to, in the short term, of course you're not going to lose weight doing that.
Yeah. But again, if I were Einstein and I could quantify that, let's say that serving of vegetables, you know, extends your life by 5 minutes. Right?
Okay.
So in a vacuum, in a nutshell, like quantitative, like 5 minutes, I'm on my deathbed anyway, what is that, right? But you take that 5 minutes, you know, and expand it over the course of 30, 40, 50 years, however much longer you'll be alive, right? And multiply that by the number of times that you only have a serving of vegetables that day, it compounds. It compounds. And not only does it compound, you know, over time, like not only does it multiply, but it then next time, 1 serving of vegetables is easy, and now you're like, oh, I feel like I can handle 2 servings of vegetables, even though I'm just as busy on this Tuesday as I was 6 months ago, and I got to go to little Timmy's soccer practice. Right? One serving of vegetables on a busy day is nothing. Now I can do 2.
Yeah, I literally had one client, like he was really used to eating out all the time, and he's really struggling with vegetables. And I said, well, when you order your hamburger, make sure it has extra lettuce and tomatoes on it. That was it.
Yeah. But hey.
That was it.
And nobody is, and that's a great point, because the fitness industry, again, is predatory and will make you think that what you're doing isn't good enough and try to fit you into their box. Everybody is at a different point. For that particular client, that's where he was at, or she, or whatever was at. That's where they were at.
Yeah.
And that's good enough for them. That's where they need to start. For someone else, they may be further along, or someone else may be further back. For someone else, it may be, hey, let's just try to get some lettuce on your hamburger. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They may not be ready for extra lettuce and tomato. It's just, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can't judge yourself, and you can't be guilty, and you have to be really, really real with yourself and determine where you are. And the only way to do that is by using the dial method so that you can adjust accordingly and move away from that pause button mentality.